Hey guys, long time no see. Guess since I'm doing this off the cuff kind of and not editing it anyway, you're about to see how many times I can actually physically say in one video. I was actually getting ahead of myself and I was really feeling myself for a while because I had just recorded either 15 or 17 videos. Like I went on a spree recording all these videos and I put them in a folder and then I got all my images together for the video so that I can edit in the images, and I even isolated some scenes from the movies and put them in a folder all ready to go. And then my laptop died with the 17 videos on it. That's my luck. I'm gonna have a funeral for this because, well, it's a 2011, so I guess, according to planned obsolescence, that was pretty much it's time to go. But I still have to order something, probably from Amazon, so I can take out the hard drive and then plug that in and get those videos off of there. It's my own fault because I should have backed them up onto my portable hard drive, which made me think of my stepfather because he used to always say, "Back that shit up," with a glass of Bacardi in his hand. No, that's not even the way you say it. Glass of Bacardi in his hand. Back your shit up, Jack. He used to always tell us that about leaving things on computers and not backing it up to disk or to portable hard drive. So it's my own fault that I didn't back these videos up to my portable hard drive. And it's crazy the way I was doing it. I was backing them up after I edit them instead of before I edit them. And now we're in a situation that we find ourselves in, which really sucks because I just reviewed both Veronicas, because there's two Veronicas that were on Netflix. There's the one that people were saying was too scary for them to finish watching, which was not too scary for anyone to finish watching unless like you're maybe a horror newbie. And then there was the other one that was more of a psychological thriller and very Hitchcockian. So I had reviewed both of those, and then I even reviewed some movies for St. Patrick's Day. I had my green wig on and everything, and I reviewed Wakewood, well, 3 Irish movies, Wakewood, Citadel, and Isolation, which are really great Irish horror movies. And I don't feel like re-reviewing everything, so I'm really going to try to get my videos off of the laptop rather than try to re-review everything, because I feel like it's not going to be as authentic since it's weeks after the fact. So that kind of sucked. What else happened? Put some notes on my phone so that I can kind of stay on track, because the whole ADHD thing, sometimes my mind goes here, there, the other, and I just want the video to be somewhat coherent. Oh, 2 other things that might interfere with me getting some more videos done. And hopefully this sounds and looks alright. I plugged my desktop back in, fired up the camera. Hopefully everything looks and sounds okay, because me not backing up my videos wasn't enough. I also left my microphone turned on, and so the battery's dead, so I don't have my regular microphones. Hopefully this sounds alright. Yeah, also got a notice for jury duty on Monday. Well, I got it last month, but I'm supposed to report for jury duty on Monday, so that's great. And I have a flat tire, so the hits just keep on coming. I did not forget about requested reviews. As a matter of fact, I took notes on that. What sucks is that also on my laptop, when people request a review, I usually take a screen capture of their actual post, and then I can put that in the review, so I can say shout out to so-and-so because they requested that I watch this video. And those screen captures are on the laptop, and I don't know how long it would take me to go back through all the comments to try to find the actual people who requested the films, because I wrote down the movies that were requested but didn't write down the requester's name next to it. So so far I have Begotten, Strange Circus, Green Slime, The Descent and The Descent 2, Black Devil Doll from Hell, which I have a great story about that from when I was younger, Beyond the Door from 1974. Actually, I'll tell the truncated version of Black Devil Doll from Hell. That was the exact movie that made my mother start checking our VHS rentals before going out the door. Before that, we could just go in a video store and just rent whatever, and she wouldn't really pay much attention to it because she's all right with us watching horror. But when I rented Black Devil Doll, there's a specific scene, and when I do that review, I'll tell you what it is, where she actually shut it completely off, took it out of the VHS, and said, from now on, you have to show me what you're going to rent before you rent it. I did get to see Begotten, so I will be reviewing that, and I also got to see another odd movie. It was called We Are the Flesh. That was an interesting one to watch as well, so I'll come back on here. I don't know how you guys feel about me doing these videos unedited, because like I say, I tend to ramble a lot and I say a lot, so usually when I edit my videos I try to edit out all the the long pauses for my mind to cycle through its thoughts, and the ums. I might have said ums already. Case in point. What else? I also edit out the times I look down at my notes on my phone. Oh, since watching Begotten and watching We Are the Flesh, and of recent I also watched Kuso, and there was another strange one, The Evil Within, I believe. I was thinking, these movies are really wigged out, and I love wearing wigs, so I was thinking maybe having a series called Wigged Out Wednesdays, where I specifically review these really weird ass movies. And oh, I should introduce you to some of my wigs. This is one. You've seen, people who follow me already have seen many of my wigs, and my default picture on my Twitter is me in my purple, I call it my Mardi Gras wig because I don't know what else to call it because it's a purple wig. I got this one, and I'll probably introduce her next week. And did you know wigs have names? This one is called, what's her name? Miranda. So I'll be rocking Miranda on one Wigged Out Wednesday. I have another one here. This one is really nice. Super soft. I'm sure you came and tuned into this video to look at wigs instead of horror, but I just have to say this is a really cute wig. It'll be interesting to be a blonde for a day, so that's something fun. And you haven't seen my other color wigs. I think I've only worn one of my pink wigs and have multiple pink wigs, and the aforementioned purple wig, and then the green ones that you didn't get to see because my St. Patrick's Day videos are on the laptop. So I just have, one day maybe I'll just do a video and just introduce all my different wigs. I don't know. I'm on some other crap today. Another thing I've been thinking of doing, I'd like to do a series that's reviewing full horror franchises, and I'm not just talking about the big three, which is like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. I mean, like, to do all 10 Hellraiser movies. I think it's still 10 now, not 11, right? I think it's still 10. The Phantasm movies, Hatchet, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Basically, the ones that have had a more recent sequel added to them. I think it would be pretty cool for me to go back and watch the whole series of those. And I did do that once upon a time. I spent a whole Saturday and Sunday watching all the Hellraisers back to back up to the 9th one. So that'd be fun to do again. Well, at least for me it'd be fun to do again. What else was I thinking of doing? Oh, I didn't mention The Howling. That's another good one I would love to review. And I especially want to talk about The Howling 3, because I actually will defend that movie. My sister calls it Jaboa Jaboa. It's actually called The Howling 3: The Marsupials. It is not as bad as what people think it is. Well, in my opinion, it is. Let's talk about some trailers. I did not see a trailer yet for the new Suspiria movie, but I saw like a little teaser scene type thing that didn't do a whole lot for me just yet. Another very anticipated movie is Hereditary. I think it's called Hereditary. And it's supposed to be, you know, this generation's Exorcist, which I highly doubt, because whenever they say something is the new Exorcist, it's never as good as the original Exorcist. So they should just stop even making that comparison. Just stop it. Also, it is directed by the same person that did The Strange Thing About the Johnsons, I think it's called. And that was interesting. This is interesting. That's all I can say about it. It's literally about, okay, spoiler alert, can I say spoiler alert about The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. It's literally a short thriller movie about a guy who's being molested by his son. Yeah, let that sink in. It's on YouTube. You can look up The Strange Things About the Johnsons if you want to, or is it A Strange Thing About the Johnsons or The Strange Thing About the Johnsons? You, if you put that in there, YouTube will probably correct you. No, I do not want to update Adobe right now. It's all about timing. There's also a serial killer flick at Cannes that's called, what's it called again? The House That Jack Built. And, people are walking out of it, and the usual, I think I tweeted this, that it's just a gimmick to me, because every year they say, oh, these people walked out of such and such movie at Cannes, or these people walked out of such and such movie at South by Southwest, and it usually turns out to be just a regular horror movie, and they just overhyped it, or people who don't normally watch horror movies went to see it, and then, had whatever reaction they had because they're not used to watching horror movies. So I will reserve judgment until I actually see the film. Another movie I actually am interested in watching is called Ghostland, and that is directed by, the last name is Leger. Did I write it down? Pascal. Yes, Pascal Leger, who is the director of Martyrs. And when I was looking that up, I actually noticed that he directed a film in 2012 called The Tall Man. And when I'd seen the trailer for The Tall Man, it really didn't interest me. But now knowing that Pascal Leger actually directed it, then I might go back and check it out, because I think it might be on Netflix or something. Okay. I also wanted to talk to you guys about something I don't normally talk to you all about, and that's what I'm watching on television. Because there are some pretty good shows that I watch on television. They're not all horror related, but I wanted to just say a little something about those shows. The first one that I really enjoyed was Black Lightning. At first it seemed a little bit hokey, but then it got much better, and I really loved the music choices in it. The storyline was great, how the daughters were, except for that younger daughter. The younger daughter was aggravating my life, and I just I'm sure if you saw the series, you know how aggravating she was. But I guess, it goes along with her character. I mean, somebody's got to be that person. The villains were pretty good in it, and they had like multiple villains. It was like a layered, tiered villain system that they had. But that was a really good series, especially to be, I think it was on the CW. I was really impressed by that, because to me, and I know this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, I like Black Lightning better than Luke Cage. And you would think that I would like Luke Cage better because you can take more liberties in a Netflix series than you can with regular television. You have to tone a lot of things down. Or one would think you'd have to tone a lot of things down, but with Black Lightning, it didn't seem like they had to tone much down at all. And I just like his character better than Luke Cage's character. That's not to say that I only watch, that I really made that sound like I only watch black superheroes, which is not true, because I really enjoyed Jessica Jones. I didn't try to, I completely watched Iron Fist, but oh my god, the main actor is so terrible, and he can't sell any of his fight scenes. It's just so bad. I almost wish they would have hired, there was an actor that kind of, how do I describe him? He was actually in Iron Fist. He was guarding one of the temples when they went over to China, and he kind of did a drunken monkey style of fighting. He is actually Eurasian, which is half European, half Asian. I think he would have made a way better Iron Fist. I know in the folklore, Iron Fist is supposed to be European American, and part of his whole storyline is being a fish out of water because he was raised by Kunlun in Kunlun, and then he comes back and has to reassimilate into American culture. But I feel like the same story could have been told with a Eurasian actor who's also American, because especially in America we have people from Asia that have been here 5-6 generations, and sometimes you hear their stories of going back to Asia and not fitting in, and then, well, I just feel like it could have been more complex if you had made the character maybe biracial, European and American, just so that you can fit that actor in that actually could sell his martial arts scenes and was a better actor. That's just my point of view. My point of view, I should say, See, this is why I edit these things, because I start talking in circles and then it just sounds like I'm rambling. What I'm trying to say is that that was a better actor, and they could have kind of tweaked the story to fit that actor into that mold. That's all I'm saying. But, some people throw a fit whenever you make small changes to a character, and sometimes they don't. Like, Catwoman has been black and white multiple times, and no one seems to give a crap. But you change other characters, and they do give a crap. And then Valkyrie in the comic books appeared to be European because, Thor comes from Norse mythology, and Asgardians are pretty much Vikings in my they're space Vikings. But since they changed Valkyrie's character, via the actress, I was thinking to myself, how funny would it be if Valkyrie was half Asgardian and half Wakandian? That would be so badass. I mean, they're not going strictly by the comic books in these movies anyways. She also mentioned, yes, I did see Infinity War. I really liked it. And I don't know whether I will do a complete review of Infinity War, because I know a few people had asked me to do a spoiler review for Black Panther. I'd love to do that after I get the DVD, because then I can do a DVD review and see all the extras and all that kind of stuff too. Because I was afraid of doing a spoiler review because I feel like so many people have done it and have discussed all the different intricacies of the plot and the social relevance, that I didn't want to be the next person just piling on to some and adding things that have already been said. But maybe I'll still do that, but do it as kind of a DVD review, like I said. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, I didn't finish with the TV shows. In case anyone's wondering, I did not get to see Daredevil. My phone is playing an ad for no reason. Close. Sorry about that. I didn't get to see Daredevil because, I shouldn't say didn't get to see it. I didn't watch Daredevil because each time I've tried to watch it, I kind of tuned out. And I think it's because I tried to watch it starting in season 2 and 3, and I really need to go back and watch it from the very beginning. So one of these days I'm just going to have to go back and binge watch, because it's really hard for me to pick up and watch it from the middle. So I'll probably end up doing that. Hopefully I'll be able to do that before season 2 of The Defenders. I don't know whether I'll watch season 2 of Luke Cage. Probably because, what's her name? I never remember the character's name, but the police lady got her bionic arm, so that makes it a little bit more interesting for me. A couple other... Riverdale. I started watching that on Netflix. Riverdale, if you haven't heard of it, is kind of a mystery thriller retelling of the Archie comic books. It's pretty much like a fan fiction made into a television show, because all this stuff with Archie and Veronica and Jughead and Josie and the Pussycats really has nothing or very little to do with the comic book, but they have introduced a bunch of horror thriller elements that are very interesting to me, at least. And I love how Josie and the Pussycats look in this. They're so cute. And Veronica. I love how Veronica is, even though, like in the comic book, she always had this pearl necklace. She doesn't always have a pearl necklace on in the TV show, but she always has something pearl on, whether it's pearl earrings or maybe her cuffs on her outfit will be pearl. But I you know me. If you know my Instagram, which is Fashion Freak Horror Geek, I go back and forth. I love horror. I love fashion. I can't not notice these things. But I really enjoyed that. I have to try to watch season 2, because what sucks is season 1 is on Netflix. Season 3 is on TV right now. There's no place to watch season 2 unless I can find it on demand somewhere. So I'm going to seek that out and see if I can watch season 2, because I don't want to jump from season 1 to season 3. And I'm really, really behind, because season 3, I'm told, each episode is after a different, or influenced by a different slasher movie. And they're even including the smaller, lesser-known slasher movies like the Town That Dreaded Sundown and The Burning, which I really like The Burning. One of these days I'm going to do a best of list of my favorite slasher movies. I should start doing top 10 lists. You guys let me know if you want me to do top 10 lists of different things, because I think I'm going to start doing that, especially after, and this is how my mind goes sideways, after I watch Terrifier, which I believe was another request. Yes, somebody asked me to watch Terrifier. I don't understand why people love it so much. I think maybe they were starved for slasher movies so much that they're giving it way more credit than it deserves. Special effects wise, some of it was really good with the practical effects, and then other times it wasn't so good. the lighting was horrible, and the story just didn't do it for me. And I mean, I would go into a deeper discussion about what makes a slasher movie good. It's not just killing people and special effects. There's a certain thing that how do I put this? For me, the best slasher movies are the ones that have a backstory. Freddy Krueger had a backstory. Michael Myers had a backstory. Jason Voorhees has a backstory. Now, when I mean backstory, I mean something from their past. I don't mean motivation, which is different, because Michael Myers' motivation obviously does not fall in line with everyone else's. Freddy Krueger's motivation was the parents killed him and he's out for revenge. Jason Voorhees, the camp counselors were partying, making out with each other. They weren't paying attention. He drowned. He's out for revenge. Michael Myers, he's just evil. That's not to be confused with the backstory. The backstory of Michael Myers was that as a child, he came from a very, looked like upper middle class upbringing, lovely parents, lovely neighborhood, kills his sister, goes into a mental institution, and comes out, 17 years later, 15 years later, I don't remember the exact numbers later, but his backstory is that he killed his sister, went to the mental institution, and escaped. That's the backstory. His motivation is that he's just evil. That's why he's slightly different than your average slasher. With Terrifier, what's the deal with the clown? What's his backstory? What's his motivation? You don't know either. You just know, oh, he's a clown, he's doing this stuff. And it sucks because his creature design is pretty good. Like when you look at the cover or the poster artwork, you think, oh, Terrifier, that looks interesting. I'm going to check that out. Nothing. Second part of a good slasher movie, the victims. I feel like in newer slasher movies, they think that we shouldn't care about the victims, we shouldn't get to know the victims. If you watch a lot of classic slasher movies, Friday the 13th, Halloween, even the lesser known ones, like I was going to say, Burning, there's another one, it's called Pieces. Pieces is great, I really love Pieces. You get to know the characters. There's a good first third of the movie where no one gets killed because they're allowing you time to get to know who these people are, what their person. I mean, after a while they do start dealing in archetypes, and you have like the hoochie and the good girl and the bro and the stoner. We get these archetypes after a while, but initially, before they started doing the whole archetype thing, they did have these characters be developed somewhat, so that when they are in danger, you care. With Terrifier, this is ending up being a Terrifier review, isn't it? Oh well. Let's get it. All you know about these two girls is that they're freaking annoying and it's Halloween. That's it. That's all you know about them. You don't know their age. You don't know if they're supposed to be in college, whether they're supposed to be, mid-20s, whether they're supposed to... You don't know anything about them except these are two models, because I'm not even going to call them actresses. They didn't seem like actresses to me at all. These models that got dressed up for Halloween and then messed with this dude, because really they started messing with him first. He came in the restaurant, sat down, and they started clowning and messing with him first. But either way, I didn't care about them because I didn't know who they were. So that's my miniature Terrifier review. I just can't get over the fact that I watched a couple reviews after I saw it, and all these people were ranting and raving about how much they love this movie, and I'm like, are you that starved for a slasher that you're just willing to overlook everything? I mean, the lighting is just so bad in this movie. There's scenes that would have been 100% better with better lighting. The only scene I can think of that had good lighting was there's one where the girl was hiding behind this door and she's looking through this peephole and you see the clown through the peephole. That was actually well lit, but the majority of the film was not well lit at all. It was like, hire a lighting coordinator, hire a lighting tech, hire somebody that knows how to do lighting. Because you can't do it all yourself. I think maybe some of these directors feel like they can do everything themselves. No, you can't. Know your strengths and your weaknesses. If you're a strong, part of being a strong director is hiring the right people. But, that aside, I didn't mean to go off into a tangent about how mediocre Terrifier was. What else? Did I finish with the TV shows I was going to say? Oh, there was one more TV show I started watching. It's called Siren, and I started watching it only because I heard on Twitter that there was a black mermaid, and I wanted to see the black mermaid. I wanted to see the black mermaid. Why? So I started watching it. It seemed pretty interesting. I won't get into the specifics. I don't want to do like a spoiler review, but it's pretty interesting. And I found out a side note: it's on Freeform, which apparently Freeform used to be ABC Family. I don't know if anyone cares about that, but it was interesting to me. Non-horror that I watch, because I did mention earlier that not everything I watch is horror or fantasy based. I actually like some reality TV, and I'm not talking about your standard. If you see me reach down doing this, I'm just moving the mouse to keep my computer from going to sleep as I'm recording. I'm not into like the Real Housewives thing. I mean, when it first came out, it was semi-interesting, but now it's just a bunch of rich women finding. Can't talk. Now it's just a bunch of rich women making problems where there aren't. Just like enjoy your wealth and stop arguing with each other over BS. Like literally, you're making problems where there aren't any. You're wealthy, you have access to medicine and everything else you need, but you want to argue and fuss and fight over he said, she said, and it's just not interesting anymore. Love and Hip Hop used to be a little bit interesting, but now everyone is just kind of, I don't know, like, I feel like they're just all Instagram people. And they're starting to look like Bratz dolls. Like, everyone has a nose job and a lace front wig on, and they look like Bratz dolls. Oh, and the fake butt, which looks crazy when you have skinny legs and a big butt. Like, that's just... Why do you go to the doctor and say, I want to look like A Bug's Life? Anyways, those aren't the reality shows that I check out. I like My 600-Pound Life. I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, you know every time My 600-Pound Life comes on, I'm tweeting about it. And we actually have like a small Twitter community that we watch My 600-Pound Life. We used to watch My Giant Life because that came on after it, but then now Skin Tight comes on after it. And I think a few of us are also watching My Tiny Life. I think it's called My Tiny Life or My Little Life. Forgive me for misspeaking, but I think it's called My Little Life. What's another great one? 90 Day Fiancé. That is just, it's a dumpster fire that you can't look away from. I might start reviewing that. I used to have a channel where I used to review reality shows, but it wouldn't be like too many of the mainstream. I did do, I think maybe the first couple seasons of Love and Hip Hop. I never did Black Ink Crew, although I know what I just realized why somewhat it's not, or why it's not as interesting to me as it used to be. It was interesting to me until I actually filmed a pilot for a reality show. Fun fact, I actually filmed a pilot, can't speak. I actually filmed a pilot for a reality show back in 2015. And during the filming, you get to learn a lot of things, like how they set up shots, how many times you have to do something, and it really sticks out to you when you're watching these things. Like for the particular one that I was involved in filming, they had the different GoPros in the car filming us, and then they would also have like a little earpiece telling us what they want us to talk about as we're driving and they're filming us. Then when we got to our destination, we would have to walk in multiple times because they want to get you walking in from the front. They want to get you walking in from the side and sometimes from the back. So you have 3 different angles of people walking in. That takes the reality out of it because you've just done something 3 or 4 times, or maybe 6 times if they didn't feel like they got the shot the way they wanted it. So you start noticing these things when you're watching a reality show and you see, okay, this is supposed to feel like cinema verite or more documentary style. But then you notice, oh, well, that shot, you know, she's shot from the front, the side, the back. Or you start noticing things like, okay, when this scene began, the sun was bright in the sky and now it's going down. Or you start seeing, oh, look at their wine glasses, it's full, then it's not full, then it's full, and you can see how they've edited things together, so it really takes you out of the moment. So I think maybe that's why I became a little bit dissatisfied with watching those type. However, they're better at covering their tracks with the, like, My 600-Pound Life, and like I said, 90 Day Fiancé, even with the continuity errors. 90 Day Fiancé is fascinating. Just the variety of people on it and the stories is just, I don't know. I can't stop watching it, and I think it's gonna restart. And maybe I will start reviewing it on my other channel, because I had another YouTube channel. I still have it. I just haven't posted on it in 4 years, but it's still sitting there. So maybe I'll reignite it and start talking about the reality shows. Oh, which by the way is why I have the 2 Twitter accounts, because some of you may have noticed I have 2 Twitter accounts. I have at What Did I Just Watch, which is at WDIJW, I believe, and that is specifically horror. And you might want to follow that if you want to see when I'm going to post, because from what I'm hearing, even if you click the bell, YouTube doesn't always notify you when we do, when creators do more videos. So if you follow that Twitter, you know I'm going to do a new video, because I always post it on Twitter. And I have a Facebook page, which is What I Just Watched. Make sure it's the one with the little girl covering her face like this, because apparently there's a second What I Just Watched page that's been spamming people, and someone actually inboxed me and was like, "Can you stop spamming my page?" And I'm like, I don't spam anyone's page, because I don't do paid advertisement or anything like that on my Facebook page. I just keep it to a horror, or maybe sometimes I might post a funny YouTube video. But I have that, and then the other Twitter account I have is at Horror Freak, and that's the one that's a little bit less horror focused and just everyday whatever I feel like talking about. It could be something I saw in the news, it could be reality shows, it could be just, you know, asinine, oh, they put too much creamer in my coffee. Well, I don't post stuff like that, actually. I'm trying to think of something that I would post. That I don't really post complaints. I don't like when people post too many complaints online, because I feel like, what's it helping? Even if they did put too much creamer in your coffee. Like, what? You're gonna tweet about that? Really? Anyways, anything else before I close this video? Because already we're going on 30 minutes, which is like super long for me. Which, actually not. When I record my videos, they usually are this long, but then after I finish editing down all of my mental flights of fancy, then they're like 15 minutes, because I've taken 15 minutes out of the video that I've talked about random things that had nothing to do with nothing. Yeah, that's about everything that I was going to talk about. So just let me know how you feel about this format, because I'm using an old desktop, which it does have iMovie, but it's like iMovie, I don't know, 7, 4, I don't know, whatever iMovie came out in like 2010, 2011, that's what I have on here. Don't know how well it will work with editing, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to continue to edit my videos. If you feel like this was not too difficult for you to tolerate, and you could rock with me talking, I guess, extemporaneously like this, or looking at my phone for my notes, let me know so I can just do it this way, because I feel like I could definitely get the videos up and out way faster if I don't have to edit them. If you think I sound like a rambling mess and really need to edit videos, let me know also, so I can kind of take a gauge of what you guys are willing to put up with. Because I really would like to get back into doing this. I think I should start with the requests and just do like a request weekend and just get my requested movies done. Although, wait, with the requested movies, did I find a place to watch them all? Because that's the other thing why sometimes I get held up when you guys request a movie, because sometimes it's not available readily for me to watch. Like I have a Roku, so usually I will look on, I'll do a broad search, and it'll tell me whether the movie might be available on Amazon Prime or Netflix, or I have Shudder, but I don't have Screenbox. I have Crypt TV, but that one is not, it's not on demand. They just play what they play. I think I have, what, Crackle, and why don't I just look? Okay. Excuse all the, my not wearing makeup and looking, you can see every scar and thing on here. So, oh, Fright Picks. I have Voodoo, but I don't hardly ever use Voodoo. What else is on here? Popflix, not much on there. Driving Classics, Flickster. I think I already said Crackle. Popcorn Flicks again. What's that? Zombie TV. It would be cool if I actually reviewed some of these stations to say which ones have, the best variety and the least amount of commercials for the ones that actually have commercials. Oh, the Horror, Blood Moon Theater, Watch Free Horror Flicks, which I'm all for watching free horror flicks. Thrill Gore TV, American Horrors. I have to check that one out because I've been getting a lot of advertisements for American Horrors. Horror Habit. And then, of course, if you have cable, you might have like the individuals, like Sci-Fi Channel has their own app. My cable company stopped carrying Chiller, which kind of sucks. But then on the other hand, Chiller didn't play the best movie, so I'm only halfway, sad about that. Thriller Theater, the Monster Channel. You get the point. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll do like a mass search to see whether the movie's available for free first, because free is best. So I'll do that. If I can't find it for free, then I will look to see if it's on Amazon Prime. Well, most Prime movies are free, but then some Prime movies are like $2.99, $3.99, that type of thing. And then some are really hard to find, but there's a bunch that are actually on YouTube as well. So when I was looking at the request list that I found a bunch of on YouTube. That's how I watched Begotten. Begotten is uploaded to YouTube, so I watched that there. Strange Circus is on YouTube. Green Slime is on YouTube. The Descent and Descent 2 are both on Shudder. Black Devil Doll from 1984, I believe, is on Shudder. And Beyond the Door is on YouTube. Interesting enough, they did a remake of the Black Devil Doll. I think the original title was Black Devil Doll from Hell, but the remake, I think it's from 2007, 2008, that's on YouTube. Don't know whether I want to do them back to back. That would be really difficult, a difficult watch to watch the 1984 Black Devil Doll from Hell and then watch the remake of Black Devil Doll from Hell, because I think the remake is even worse than the original. At least the original is so bad that it's good. It passes that. I don't know whether I'll do those back to back. But there are times occasionally where I actually cannot find the movie to be able to watch it and review it. There was one movie, I wish I could remember what it was. I couldn't even find it to order the DVD off of Amazon. I just really couldn't find the movie at all. It was a 1970s movie, and it starred that same woman that was in Cobra Woman, and she was in Ganja and Hess. Which, by the way, I reviewed Ganja and Hess twice because my first feelings about it changed when I watched it a second time. Both of those are on the laptop, which really sucks. Because that's a classic, and I'm really mad that I didn't edit and post that right away. Because that really sucks. Anyways, what do you guys also think about other platforms besides YouTube? Because I'm hearing that you can do live movie watching and, I guess, commenting on Twitch. So that might be something I might try. I've also found out about Black Spot TV, and there's another one. I can't remember the other one. But I might try Twitch and see how that works out, to just do a live movie watch and just kind of see how I'm... Because I mean, you might not know about me, but I talk through a lot of movies anyways. and don't say that's a black thing, because it's not. I refuse to believe that. I've been to movies where European American people were talking. And I want to tell them, shh. So we're not gonna use that stereotype. But I don't know. What do you guys think? How's this format? What do you think of this? I'm down in my room recording on a desktop. I was actually wondering, when the whole thing happened, the whole situation happened with my laptop, I was thinking, your first thought sometimes is like, why me? Why is this happening to me? But then sometimes you have to think, everything happens for a reason. So then when you believe that everything happens for a reason, you think, okay, so what is this trying to tell me? What is this event occurring trying to tell me? And I think what it's trying to tell me is that I was I was being too much of a Virgo, if you know what I mean. A lot of Virgo people are very regimented, we're very organized, we're very perfectionistic. I mean, the two of the most famous Virgos are Michael Jackson and Beyonce. Like, you can't get any more perfectionistic than that. And I think that's what it was doing. It was telling me, okay, you're putting these videos out way too slowly because you're trying to be too much perfectionist. You're trying to edit everything down to, you're trying to edit out all of your flaws. You're trying to edit out everything that you think is wrong. And then you're trying to put all these images in it and you're trying to make it look as clean and flashy as, well, not flashy is not a good word, as streamlined as possible. But are you losing authenticity by doing this? So maybe fate is telling me, no, I'm going to strip down everything so you have no choice but to be authentic in what you're doing, what you're saying, and how you say it. So that's the way I took it. So I guess I'm going to try doing these videos this way. And if I say a million times, and hopefully it won't bother you, or if I stumble over my words, hopefully that won't bother anyone, or when I go on these tangents that have nothing to do with nothing because of my mind, which this is actually very, very good. It's not as bad as it used to be because I am on medication, which, by the way, another thing I meant to add. Recently I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, and a part of me kept on feeling like this can't be right. I don't think this is right, and I still kind of feel that way, so the jury's not out. I do feel tired all the time. But then I was doing some research, and I personally am on Strateria, which is for ADHD. And when I was looking through a lot of forums, a lot of people that are on Strateria have experienced extreme fatigue. And one of the things I read is that they've, even though we're mostly directed to take it in the morning with breakfast, a lot of people said they've started taking it at night since it makes them so tired. So I'm going to try that, and hopefully that alleviates the fatigue. If that doesn't work, I might have to go off the medicine again, and then you're really going to see a train of thought. you think this is disjointed and all over the place. You haven't seen me off the Strateria. Off the Strateria, I'm like, oh, something shiny. But speaking of shiny, my nose is so shiny in this video, which is so funny to me because now all these girls are on Instagram putting I don't know what you call it. I'm not great at knowing terms for makeup, but it's like this shimmery glitter stuff that they are putting on the tip of their nose and on their cheeks to make it shiny. And meanwhile, I've spent my whole life trying to make my nose and my cheeks less shiny. So you're actually, you see this, where the light is hitting right here? You're actually putting on makeup so that the light hits right here. I think that's hilarious. Gen X problems, when Gen X is looking at millennials and Generation Z, and we're laughing at the things that we try to fix about ourselves being the most popular things now, even with the whole geek thing. I had a conversation the other day with my sister about how some of us Generation X geeks have an air of what's a good word to describe it? Not anger, but what do you call it when you've been through something and then someone comes behind you, they don't have to go through the same thing you go through, so you kind of look at them like they're Johnny-come-latelys. And some of us from Generation X kind of feel that way because we were the ones going to cons and doing cosplay and being geeked out and having to deal with being bullied for being geeks. And now there's a geek or fandom for everything, and it's just like the thing to be now. And we're kind of like, well, but you weren't there when we was getting hassles on the school bus. You weren't there when I went to Star Trek Con in Connecticut my sophomore year of high school, and then lied and said I went somewhere else on Saturday because you can't come to school on Monday and say, oh, what'd you do on Saturday? We went to such party, or we went to, roller skating. I went to Star Trek Con. You had to lie and say you didn't go. But now it's like the thing to do. It's like you guys weren't there for the heartache and pain of the geekdom, but you're here. You're here when it's cool. some of us Gen Xer are bitter. Maybe that's the word I was looking for, bitter. Are we bitter? We're a little bitter about that. Like, oh yeah, that was cool. Now it's fun and cool and acceptable to be all geeked out. Yeah, rah, rah, cool. Yeah, good for you. I'm glad your school has a zero tolerance policy on bullying. We didn't have that. Anyways, I guess I will close this video since it's going on, geez, almost an hour, 45 minutes. I wonder how long that's going to take to upload. So like I said, let me know how you feel about this type of video, and I will be back recording videos, reviews for whichever movies that I'm watching. Like I said, I have to record one for Begotten, and I'll probably do I want to do a double feature review for Begotten and for We Are the Flesh, because they have some similarities to me. Right now you're probably looking at me going, what do you mean? How do they have similarities? Well, to me they have a couple similarities, and I will describe those in a video. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure that I did upload my intro to my videos on my Google, what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank now. My mind keeps saying Hangouts. It's not Hangouts. It's Drive, my Google Drive. I did have the foresight to back up my intro, outro, and I think that on with the show type thing of my videos on my Google Drive, but I don't know whether I have the background music that I usually use for my videos, so I might have to find another background music. Let me know how the sound is in this, because maybe I don't need background music at all. Right now I can hear the AC kicking on, I can hear the crickets outside. When a car drives by, that happens, so let me know if those are distractions, if you can even hear them at all. If it doesn't make a difference, then I'll skip the music altogether, or let me know if you actually like the music, because I just put it there just because, like I was saying, I was trying to be fancy, and apparently fate doesn't want me to be fancy. Fate wants me to sit here in a bathrobe in a bedroom with a desk lamp. See this desk lamp? With a desk lamp on the side of me to film these videos. So let me know what your thoughts are about this video, about what I've said, anything you guys want to talk about that I said. Sorry I couldn't shout out the people who actually did request these videos, but you know, this is just a random, just letting you guys know what's going on and what's hopefully to come. I hate to say what I want to do, because every time I say this is what I want to do, something interferes with me wanting to actually doing that. So let's hope that I am speaking this into existence. Well, that's the end of that, I guess. I won't do the same sign off that I usually do, because I didn't really talk about too many movies except for Terrifier, but let me know what your thoughts are. Again, I'm sure I'm saying this for the third time. Also, let me know if there's some really good TV shows that I am missing, or Netflix shows that I am missing, and I will check it out. Talk to you guys later.